Morris Raymond Worrell was born October 4th, 1921 to Emery and Marie Reinhold Worrell. He was one of 10 children. He was raised in Wisner, Nebraska area and received his education from Wisner schools. His siblings were Mira, Hazel, Leland, Margaret, Eva, Harold, Orville, Betty, and Emery Jr. With his brothers Harold in the Army and Orville in the Air Force in the military, Morris decided he wanted to follow in their footsteps. Family history has it when he tried to enlist in Nebraska, he was turned down, so he went to California. Enlistment records show that he enlisted in the Army on 4 February 1941 at Fort MacArthur, San Pedro, California. Morris served in Company F, 2nd Battalion, 31st Infantry Regiment. He was sent to the Philippine Islands where he was stationed when war was declared on December 8, 1941. When U.S. troops surrendered on April 9, 1942, Morris became a Japanese prisoner of war. After enduring the brutal Bataan Death March, he joined other POWs at Cabanatuan POW camp in Nuevo Ecija province. Poor living conditions and lack of food and supplies allowed diseases to run unchecked with little medical treatment available. Morris died on 27 September 1942 from dysentery and malaria. He was 21 years old. He was buried in a mass grave. When Cabanatuan was liberated, the mass graves were disinterred and eventually moved to the Manila Mausoleum. 76 years later, on 13 August 2018, his remains were identified by the Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency with burial in Wisner Cemetery on November 10, 2018. He was home at last. In 1976, his sister Betty received a letter addressed to the Wisner, Nebraska postmaster, who happened to be a classmate of Betty's and also knew Morris. The writer, A.B. Abraham, was a prisoner of war with Morris and was searching for his family to give more details about their brother. In his follow-up letter, Mr. Abraham stated, "The whole 31st Infantry made the death march. We marched for 6 days into San Fernando. From here, we were sent to Camp O'Donnell, where we lost over 1,600 American lives. The Japanese got scared and moved us to Cabanatuan. In Cabanatuan, we caught hell. 2,600 Americans died here in a short time from malaria, dysentery, and beriberi, etc. Morris and I used to talk way into the night. We talked about home and loved ones. He told me about his sisters and his brothers and Marie. He was a brave soldier, had guts for such a young soldier. I was proud of him. He was liked by everybody in his company, always a smile and a kind word. I know in Bataan he always came to see me and we talked for hours under the shelling of Japan's large guns. I saw Morris die in the early morning. He had a bad case of dysentery. I got him water and bathed him many times, an estimated time of death at 9 a.m. Mr. Abraham went on to say in his letter, in 1945 I was liberated. All POWs were sent home. General MacArthur asked me to stay over and locate all the graves on Bataan, the battlefield cemeteries, O'Donnell, and Cabanatuan. This work I did for 2 years, returning home in 1947 after 9 years in the Philippines. Mr. Abby Abraham went on to write books about his experiences as a POW in the Philippines. Morris's family is grateful to be able to understand more about what their brother and uncle experienced during this time. Medals Morris received were the Bronze Star, Prisoner of War Medal, Purple Heart, Combat Infantry Badge, World War II Victory Medal, American Campaign Medal, Distinguished Unit Citation, Good Conduct Medal, and the Asiatic Pacific Medal. Honor and Remember Nebraska chapter is pleased to present this flag sponsored by Spartan Nash to the family of Private First Class Morris Raymond Worrell.